He has gifted each of us in very unique ways. Some of our gifts and talents may overlap with others, but the mix He has placed in our lives matches His plan for us perfectly. The Apostle Paul compared spiritual gifts to a human body. Just as a human body needs many parts working together to stay healthy, God's body, the church, needs different parts, as with our gifts, working together to complete His mission effectively. So as you think about God's plan for your life, look at your talents and look at your gifts. They are a hint to God's plan in your life because He gave them to you to fulfill His purposes. Can you imagine if the whole world was made of Elon Musk or Donald Trump? Walk in the light that you have. In 2022, I faced a vocational dilemma. I wasn't sure if God wanted me to pursue fitness or ministry. Through the wise advice of a very close and trusted mentor, I gained some clarity and moved forward in the light God had provided. I stayed with fitness, though He has allowed me to work in ministry as a volunteer for more than 5 years now. We can't all preach from the pulpit, but we can all turn our lives into a live pulpit. It is okay to have questions about God's plan for your life, but He doesn't want the uncertainty to tie you down. Don't let it boggle you down. Keep doing what you know is right and look for more light as He provides it. You should read your Bible often and pray for insight. You should talk with people who know you well and get their feedback. But you should also grow where He has planted you in the moment. You have to know that you can still serve, find your purpose in what you're doing right now. Obey Him where you are, and He will show you where to go next. The other sign we've been given here, God always finishes what He starts. Whether you're still trying to nail down God's plan for your life, or you've been living it out for a while now, you inevitably will struggle and doubt. You'll wonder if you're still on the right path or if you are missing something. For those times, it is great to remember what Apostle Paul told the Philippians. And I quote, "I'm sure of this, that he who has started a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Jesus Christ." Honestly, we will never see the whole picture God is painting in our lives this side of heaven. But rather than wonder, does God have a plan for our lives? It is better to remember He always finishes what He starts. It might not make sense in the moment, but God has promised to work everything out for His glory and our good when we seek and follow His plan. Making the right choice. Even when we discover God's plan for our lives, we are left with a choice, power of free will. One option is rejecting God's plan for your life. We can resist Him, but fighting with God never leads us to a good place. As C.S. Lewis once said, and I quote, "When you argue against God, you are arguing against the very power that makes you able to argue at all. It is like cutting off the branch you are sitting on. It's not clever." The other option is to join Him where He is at work in the world. And another Christian writer, if I have to quote here, is Frederick Buechner, has shared that God's purpose leads us to the place where your deep gladness and the world's deep hunger meet. In other words, finding and obeying God's plan for our lives is a win-win for us and those around us. And best of all, God gets the glory when we make the right choice. And if God wins, we win. Now, from the very first day when you were born, you had two choices. You had the choice to work with God or work for Him, and you had the choice to work for the devil.